So, well, first of all, I would start by condemning the violence that occurred yesterday. And, you know, it's scary because this didn't start yesterday. Violence is creeping slowly into our electoral system. And we have to find a way to curb it. Otherwise, you know, going into 2028 is going to get worse. We didn't get here yesterday, like I said. And I condemn all forms of violence that occurred, except one. Except the one on Hawa Koomson. Oh, yes, she deserved it. Because she is known for it. She has been unleashing violence on people. In July, during the registration, she shot at people. It's there, you can Google it. She took a gun. That one was not even an election. Minister of State, who should lead by example, a woman who should have, you know, empathy for people. When she's going into an electoral area, she carries a gun, weapons on her. All the men who follow her are known. That is why she got the nickname Kaswa Rambo. So somebody who is known for that gets into the area, and I have seen the video. She started attacking. She should know better. As a former Minister of State, your responsibilities is higher than the macho man down there. So the honors of duty and care that as a former Minister of State you owe to the state is higher than, you know, somebody who just goes to the gym, builds muscles and comes to fight at elections. She should know better. The video I saw was of her spraying pepper spray into the crowd. So obviously some of that pepper spray touched the man who dived and jumped her. I'm sure that the man was standing somewhere minding his own business and then felt the burning sensation and just jumped on her. So it should be a lesson to all of us. And I pray that she learns a lesson from what she did yesterday. To going into another election, not to go there armed with pepper sprays and knives and guns and so on and so forth. She should lead by example. So I condemn the attack on the media man, the policeman who slapped. I saw the video. It was in bad taste. He needs to be punished. The fact that you are wearing a uniform doesn't give you the right to, you know, take the law into your hands and beat up people. It is wrong. It is wrong. And I have been a victim of electoral violence before. In 2008, I ran at Domi Kwabenya. I went to the Taifa market. I was with Adekoka. May his soul rest in peace. I was with E.T. Mensah. May his soul rest in peace. They ran and left me. Adekoka's E.T. Mensah's bodyguard got his head smashed. I didn't run. I stood. But I didn't run because you know, the people were throwing stones. No, they were not even tags. They immediately they saw us. And you know, when I ran in Domi Kwabenya, what they told me was that it was a no-go area for NDC because it is an MPP stronghold. So when I got there, they said, "Oh, the NDC people are here," and then they started throwing stones. So and the men that I went with, they all left me and I stood. So later on, it was a police who, I didn't have anything on me. I didn't have pepper spray, you know, because at the time, I thought that it was just a mere election. I didn't think it was going to be a war zone. So they ran away and they went to the Atomic Police Station. I stood and the police, about 6 armed men, came and put me in the middle and they took me away. I'm sure Metro TV or GTV or TV3 would have that clip because they took it, you know. So I was lucky to have escaped. I was also a victim of electoral violence recently in the 2024 election at Nsawam Edwajiri. I was a collation agent at Nsawam Edwajiri. So as the counting was going on, you know, one party realized that they were losing, and they sent tags, led by the MP. They sent tags to the collation center. It was a secondary school, and you know, I was in the collation center when the tag started shaking the door, metal doors. They broke the metal doors down, and even as they were trying to break the metal doors down, it was a mob action. They were throwing stones, so you could hear the stones rolling on the ceiling, the roofing. Boop, 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 and, you know, one stone hits your head, you are gone, brain injury, you are dead. And then all of a sudden, I saw armed men shooting into the collation center. And I didn't know, I had to run. I was with my friends, you know, we ran. But in the midst of running, I had in mind that, you know, any bullets, stray bullets could hit you. So this happened December, on the night of the election, December 8th in the morning, around 4 a.m. From there, I sat in my car, I got back to Accra around 7 a.m. So any form of electoral violence is bad. And we shouldn't encourage it, let alone from a former minister. Okay, and at the time that Hawa Koomson was shooting guns, she was a minister of state, she was a minister of fisheries, and she was shooting guns at a registration center. And her excuse was that she did it to protect herself. Why did she even take a gun to a registration center in the first place? Her government was in power, nothing happened to her. She walked away scot-free. Yesterday she appeared and she had pepper spray on her, started spraying people. And of course, if you spray me, because it burns, it's very, very painful. So obviously the person felt it and dived at her. So she deserved what she got. But going forward, we have to find a way. And I'm not even going to go to the recommendation yet. In 2020, 8 people lost their lives during the election. 8 people. Like my brother Nee said, it says we are just going to count. Why do we have to lose lives? The 8 people, one included a 13-year-old at Ododo Diodio. What did she do? She's not even ready. She's not even a voter. She's not even 18. But like I said, stray bullets. Stray bullets. So we have to find a way to ensure that if we are going to vote, we don't become like an animal kingdom or a jungle where, you know, and before the election started, I saw videos of MPP, one of your vice chairmen, and some of the big men, they were there saying that, oh, we are ready for NDC. We have seen, we are ready. If they bring it, we are ready. You can't go into an election thinking that you are going to fight. It's an election for a reason. You are going to vote. You are not going to fight. So if you go there with the mindset that you are going to fight, you have to prepare yourself to fight. If we want to fight, then we'll go and join South Sudan, or let's move to Sudan or somewhere and start fighting. But if as leaders you come and then you are recorded on video saying that we are ready to fight, look, we can all protect ourselves. If you bring it on, we'll meet you. So as leaders, we shouldn't incite our people. Get there and grant interviews and say that we are here. We are here. If NDC, we know that they are ready. You see, and NPP has copied. They've gone to form a blue army. Our concept of the green army is not to fight. It's a youth group that was set up to galvanize for campaign. The youth go down there and campaign, but because of the word army, they feel that it's something to know. The Green Army, you know, I attended the youth launch and everything. I was part of it. It is not a tool meant to fight. But they sent their blue army in the morning that the blue army is there. Nobody is fighting. Only 19 polling stations. And look at what happened yesterday. It was shameful. It was, and I'm sure that if Hawa Koomson wasn't there, wouldn't have gotten to that extent. She's known for violence. Wherever she goes, she takes it along. So she took it there. People were ready for her because they knew that once she comes, she has a gun on her. Even during 2024 election, her men shot one person dead. And I'm calling on the president to have that election violence that led to one person dying at Kaswa investigated. It needs to be investigated. She can't walk, she can't continue to shed blood during registration and during election and walk away scot-free. She can't do that. She's not above the law in this country. She's not. But how did we get here? The Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission brought us here. On December 7th, 2024, Erabna Obin was declared winner. The next day, Zita Benson came and annulled that declaration. So they brought us here. So when I hear the NPP saying that, oh, we are getting injustice from NDC because they are in power and they are trying to twist our arms and get the Ablekuma seat from us, I laugh. You were in power on December 7th, 2024, when Erabna was declared, her hands were twisted and the seat was taken away from her. So who suffered injustice? You were in power. You used your power and your influence over the Electoral Commission to take away the seat from Erabna. Erabna has been the one fighting for this seat for the past 7 months. So you cannot come and cry foul when something you created has come back to bite you. I'm sure my brother will have a proverb for that. You create the problem. The problem comes to bite you, and then you cry injustice. That is most unfortunate. And then go around saying that I'm a poor widow. I'm a poor widow. Widow doesn't qualify you. I mean, one of the qualifications for going into parliament, it doesn't say you have to be a widow to go there. You know, there are qualifications for it. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you qualify, and we don't care your personal situation. You know, once you qualify, you can do the work and the people vote for you, you go. So the EC brought us to this situation. And it was not just, don't forget, it was not just Ablekuma North. We had Domi Kwabenya. In Domi Kwabenya, the candidate, the MPP candidate, Michael Kwe Jr., actually conceded. He conceded defeat to our NDC candidate. And then the Electoral Commission turns around, comes back, and says that, oh no, we think that you won. When the man who went for the election, the returning officer had declared the NDC candidate winner. The man who won had agreed that I have, the man who lost had agreed that I have lost. The EC says, no, we want more, we are taking it back. So the EC is the problem. Whoever was controlling the EC at the time did not do the EC any good. They came back. Tema Central, your constituency, is part of it. They are in court. Okankwe Central is part of it. Akwetia is part of it. I was in Artisanal Police Station when Akwetia was declared in the absence of NDC. Our executives were on their way coming from Akwetia when we called them and told them don't bother. They have already declared the MPP winner of the election. So go back. Which was very, very unfair. At least give the other party the opportunity to get there, do the recount, and then let them know that this is their situation. But that's what the EC did. I was there. And I was there because in Sanwam, I was representing in Sanwam Artisanal Police Station. In Sanwam did not have pink sheets. Just as Ablekuma did not have pink sheets. The EC did not have pink sheets. And pink sheet determines who the winner is. We were calling for a rerun. The EC said no. They went to court. The court finally managed to get a court order and declared someone for MPP. When there were clearly no pink sheets for both parties. So what we were doing was that the pink sheets that NDC had, we would bring, the pink sheets that MPP had, they would bring, and then when we both agree. So we got to a stage where one of the pink sheets did not tally, the pink sheets that EC brought did not tally with both NDC and MPP, and then there was a stalemate, and that's when they took it to the court, and the court granted it for MPP. So, in fact, the problem from 2020 election, where people were killed, 8 people died, and I will call on the president once again to build a monument for the 8 people who lost their lives during the 2020 elections in front of the Electoral Commission office, the headquarters, to remind us not to ever go into an election and lose lives. A monument must be erected for those 8 people as a reminder that election is not about fighting, but is about just, exchange of minds and where you belong and so on and so forth. That needs to be done. So that the EC, every time they walk around their office, they will know that the lives of these people are on their hands. So the EC has a big problem that there are big disappointments from head to toe. All the 6 directors, they must go. They must go. When we were complaining about the EC, the MPP became their spokespersons. They were defending them. Just before we went into the election, we complained about names, some names that had been moved from polling stations, people who had registered for example in Pan-African TV. When they go, their name is not there. They didn't even know where their names had been. Yes. When we complained about it, the MPP were defending, they were the spokespersons of the EC. Today the MPP says the EC must go. Why the U-turn? I mean, just stay and taste what you created. Don't let them go. But for once, both MPP and NDC agree that the Jean Mensah-led administration, all the directors must go, because I personally don't trust them. And if you are in charge, you're supposed to be neutral, you're supposed to be independent, and you are not trusted, then what are you doing there? Jean Mensah has proved herself twice that she can't be trusted. During the 2020 declaration of the election results, she found a way to get our agents out of the collation center, changed the venue where the declaration was going to be made, and once our agents left, they went to another venue and hurriedly declared the 2020 elections. And what happened after that? She came back about 4 times and said that she had made mistakes. How do you make mistakes in an election? And she only admitted that she had made mistakes because when she put out the figures, the percentages did not jive. And people started calculating. We have people who know math. They said, no, if you said this is the figures that you got, then your percentages are wrong. It's not adding up. In math, 1 + 1 is 2. You can't do anything about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she came back, changed the results about 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then finally left it like that. So Jean Mensah has proven herself, and I think that I thought that she would even resign, but she's still there, which is fine. But if she won't listen to the parties, and she won't do what the parties want, because parties are telling you this is not how it's supposed to go, and you've adopted an obia attitude. You do what you want. You are not there per your own authority. You are being paid with the taxpayers' money, and if you conduct an election and create such a mess, my brother talked about Saul. The same thing. 4 years, Saul did not have representation. Jean Mensah sat in the office, never did anything about it, left the people of Saul without an MP. Jean Mensah sat there. She did nothing about it. She did nothing about it. That her job was to ensure that an election, even if it did not happen during the December 2020 election era, it should have happened during the year. It didn't happen. For 7 months, because of their own mistakes that they did, I won't call it mistakes, deliberate attempts to take away seats that belong to NDC to give to the MPP. For 7 months, Ablekuma North did not have representation in Parliament. And I will use this opportunity to congratulate my sister Irabna Orbin for a good fight that she did not give up along the way, because it is not easy to run to be an MP. It is not easy at all. Your money, your mental health, everything, your physical, everything. Because if you are running against someone like Hawa Koomson, then you know your life is even in danger. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not easy. So Rabna, congratulations. You fought well, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And so I feel that going forward, I don't want us to take this kind of violence into 2028, because I have, like I said, I've been a victim twice. You never know third time what will happen. So I pray that we find solution to this kind of violence that has creeped into our electoral system, and make people accountable. If a national officer of any political party, me included, if I'm found making inflammatory statements and telling my people to go and fight, I incited it. Don't just arrest the macho people who do it. The person who incited that violence must also be arrested. It doesn't matter which party the person belongs to. So we have to look at reforms for our electoral system and punish people who engage in this. If we do that, people will know that, look, I can't go and incite and get away with it. You know, so such reforms must be made. The Electoral Commission is not above the law. If the EC makes a mistake, in Ghana, we don't punish people for making mistakes in the course of their duty. In other jurisdictions, they do. So if you are an electoral officer and you do something wrong, which leads to this kind of embarrassment and pain and struggle, leading to violence yesterday, whoever was in charge yesterday would have been made to resign for causing this mess. So we have to look at reforms where the officers of the Electoral Commission would also be held liable in the course of their duty. Their duty is not just to go and sit down and count and do all that. They are supposed to ensure that there's free and fair election and violence-free election, because the violence starts when people begin to feel that they are being cheated. That's when the violence starts. And I'll give you a typical example. When I was posted to Insamam, you know, I did rounds of the polling station, and I was called that one how do you call the women, the people who do I've forgotten the name, those who give out the electoral officer, one female electoral officer had been arrested. What did she do? I think from the tally that she was seeing, she realized that MPP was losing. So what she did was she took some of the papers, the ballot papers, and she was going to give it out to people because you know, people didn't turn up for MPP. The people didn't turn up for MPP. So they told her to take some of the papers and then put it in the box. Our boys were very vigilant. They were there, they were watching, and they caught her putting the paper in her sleeve. And when they caught her, so she pretended she was going to the bathroom, and no, she was about to put it in the box, and they pounced on her. When they pounced on her, do you know what she did with the paper? She swallowed the paper. She swallowed the paper. So they took her to the police station. I even posted her picture on my Facebook wall. This is a woman who is part of the electoral process. She was employed by the Electoral Commission to engage in a free and fair election. But she's the one who is taking out ballot papers and going to put in the ballot box. So such people must be punished. Yes. So we need to hold such people responsible. So you know, the mistrust of the Electoral Commission is very. We need a whole system. We need a whole system. We have to look at the law, to look at punishment for electoral officers who flout the law. They can't just flout the law and destroy our electoral system and get away with it. We have to also look at political actors who incite people to go and engage in violence. We don't want to leave this kind of legacy for the next generation. It is in very bad taste.